Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Inside ECAC Hockey. Coaches are on board with us this week on the men's and now on the women's side, as we're very pleased to welcome the head coach of the Colgate Raiders, 11th season for Greg Fargo. Greg, welcome to the show. It's been a while since we talked. It's great to reconnect.
Yeah, it has been, Bernie. It's great to hear your voice again and to be chatting about ECAC hockey. Thanks for having me.
On a sharp contrast to my family, it's great that you hear my voice. Okay, I'll let it go at that. At any rate, Greg, it's been quite a run for you. When you look at now, you're in your 11th season. The record is noteworthy, and I will note it, with 6 20-win seasons, the 4 NCAA tournament appearances. And last year, I guess, well, most coaches say last season's a canceled check, but the check was for a pretty big number. So we want to reference the fact that with 32 wins last year, 18 in the uber competitive ECAC women's side, and the fact that you won the ECAC championship for the 3rd year in a row, and now know that no team has been able to do that 4 times in a row, and did it once again in the ECAC, where there's plenty of danger out there. I think one of the most noteworthy things as you look back on everything you accomplished, you defeated 9 ranked teams last season. I mean, that is going against the iron night in and night out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what comes to mind, Bernie, is a lot of those 9 ranked teams that you mentioned were right here in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Playing other really quality teams here in ECAC, and we talk about it as coaches all the time, just how competitive this league has been really since my arrival 11 years ago. There hasn't been a year that gets any easier, that's for sure. It gets stronger and stronger with every passing season, and last year was no exception to that. We felt going into the tournament and certainly through the playoffs, so we were really well battle tested. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're playing, great quality opponents every single night and in this league, and certainly makes for some great hockey all season long, but especially down the stretch in the second half of the year when it comes playoff time. The margins are really tight, and to get to the end, as we've been fortunate enough to do, we felt strong that, we were playing some good hockey and beating some good teams, heading down deep into the playoffs.
No doubt about that. And I know that the sights are set once again. The goals are very high for this season. And why wouldn't it be when anybody takes a look and does a little research, as I've done on your roster, that GR it's prevalent on the roster. This is a veteran team. Just to take us through, first of all, a team that offensively last year, you had 5 players with 35-plus points, 6 players that attained some type of ECAC All-League, All-Star recognition. But to begin on the offensive side, it seems like there's depth, and teams are going to have a lot of difficulty in being able to concentrate or zero in to be able to stop one player or one line. Although one name does come to mind when you consider your captain is back as a 5th-year grad who led the nation in points per game.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I'd be lying to you if I said otherwise. I mean, to have Danielle back as a 5th-year player, our captain, returning leading scorer, obviously, and she had a heck of a season last year, leading the country in points. But it goes beyond Danielle, as you alluded to. We're fortunate enough to have 4 of our returning 5th-year players, and I think anytime you can add a 5th-year player to your roster, or keep a 5th-year player in our case, it not only helps you on the ice, but just in terms of leadership, Bernie, as you know, how important that is. Their experiences, they've been through a lot here at Colgate, as you mentioned, both winning championships, but also, navigating the ups and downs of what you go through as a college athlete. And I think having that experience in our locker room, it goes a long way when we're trying to help the younger players acclimate to the college setting and the college game. And, we're just so fortunate to have more of a veteran group this year, more so than we have in the last few years. And, the neat thing about it is, as much success as they've had throughout their career, there's still a lot of, there's a lot of meat left on that bone for them to want to get to and accomplish. And so by no means, as this group of upperclassmen settled in on their laurels and what they've done in the past, they've got their sight set for, to do things here at Colgate that haven't been done quite yet.
Yeah, I imagine a big part of that motivation is the fact that everything you attained last year and knowing that they could come back as it is together, as it were, together to try to accomplish. I mean, you're number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, close, but able to still see that goal in your sights there and having one more opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I got my pooch here in the background. But they, without a doubt, I mean, anytime, you can not just bring those quality players and people back, but for them to come back and do it together, I think is something that was really appealing both to them. I mean, anytime, you look at your roster and you have some great players like the 4 of them and our seniors that are just a year older. And I think everyone's been really excited here about the new players that we've been able to add to our roster. It's there's another opportunity right in front of us. And we know it's a long season. We know that, as we talked about earlier, we're going to have to go through the ECAC, but we just want to keep focusing on getting better every single day and putting one foot in front of the other. And so far this group has been really focused and really dialed in to just continuing to have a good day each and every day. And hopefully at the end, all those chips stack up in the best way possible for us.
And it would be remiss if we didn't mention with Danielle with the 71 points and leading the nation last year. The hot start, one of your other seniors is off to the Czech native Kristina Kaltunikova is off to quite a start right now, just about unstoppable. And once again, pick your poison when you're trying to defend against your Colgate team.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch her play right now, and honestly, watch all of our players play. But Kalti's off to a great start, as you mentioned, and she had a big weekend this past weekend against Penn State. And truthfully, it's really a luxury for a coach to be able to kind of separate players like Kalti and Danielle and have a couple different, big time weapons on both of those lines. And it goes far beyond those 2 lines, frankly. But I think when you're the opposition and you're looking at the lineup that's coming through for the next games, you certainly have to pay attention to both of those 2 players. And if you don't, they can be trouble. And so from a coaching standpoint, it's a luxury. We're just trying to put them in the best spots individually that they can be in to help our team succeed. And so far they've been off to a good start in a lot of ways. They've both been able to pick up where they left off from last year.
With this many experienced players back, Greg, I mean, a lot of options in terms of who's actually going to get the letters on the sweater. And I noticed that 2 are on the decor. We haven't talked about how strong this team is, how deep it is defensively. But you've got a couple of the players back there with Sydney Bard, who's a 2-time captain, Allie Simpson also being elevated to captain as a 5th year.
Yeah, and Bernie, I can't say enough about those 2 leaders, captains, people, and players, frankly. I mean, what they bring to our team on a daily basis is something that you just can't replace. And to have them in their 5th year, so confident in who they are and what they bring to this team, it resonates through the group. Not only do we rely on them heavily, in the biggest moments of the biggest games, but just what they bring to our locker room. We do have a handful of younger defensemen on our team this year, very talented but younger, and really there couldn't be 2 better people for our young D-corps to learn from. And you just know as a coach, we've been through this a number of years, but players like Allie and Sid and Danielle and Kalti, and the list goes on, but their impact here at Colgate and within our program, it carries on for years. And it's because of who they are and what they do every day and the impact that they have on others. But it just starts with, I think, the relationships that they're willing to build with their teammates and to bring them in and show them the way as we get off to a start of a new season here.
It's always difficult in college hockey to bring the young defensemen along, and I believe you've got 3 freshman defenders that are all getting acclimated and becoming part of the program, and bringing something a little bit different to the table for you in terms of what they can provide for the team overall, and to be part and to become impactful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do, and such an important position, as you know. All 3 of the first years are getting some time here early and getting acclimated to the college game. For defensemen especially, it can be a challenging transition. But Avery Pickering, somebody that stepped in right away and had a significant impact, playing with Ali for the most part. And then the other one that wasn't mentioned is Sid Morrow,
from Ohio State. Yep.
Ohio State transfer. Really, it's been a seamless transition for Sid in that way. We really like our decor. We feel the depth there is something that maybe we didn't have a year ago. And when you look at how to keep this program evolving and keep our team improving, that was one of the areas we wanted to ensure that we had more depth in. And we like where we stand in that capacity at this point in the year. There's lots of room to keep getting better, but we like our depth at every position, and especially on the back end this year. That's for sure.
And coaches are often, it depends on how circumstances are dictated. You might have a goaltender that's going to carry you, that you're going to be riding along, or you might have a situation, as it seems like you do at currently, once again, depth-wise, that you can have a split. And I know that you've been for the first couple of weeks of the season being able to split time with Osborne and Murphy, your 2 goaltenders.
I mean, talk about luxuries. I don't think, from a coaching standpoint, it doesn't get much better than our situation in that, really. I mean, I haven't experienced anything like it, Bernie, in my time beyond the last few years here with Hannah and Kaylee. This team, we believe in both of them equally. They've both done a tremendous job throughout their careers here, and we're seeing them at their best. They're playing some great hockey together. They push each other. They're good friends beyond the rink. And I think, that competitive spirit, yet supportive nature of both of them, it helps our team in the best of ways. I mean, they both want to be in the net. There's no question about it, but incredibly supportive. And the trust from the coaching staff and the players is, through and through for both of them, regardless of who's in the net. I mean, last year we were fortunate to be able to go, back and forth with both players, both goaltenders throughout the year, right through the playoffs. And so far, there's been no reason to do anything otherwise. So we'll see how the season plays out. We know they both want to be in the net. We know this is Kaylee's final year, and so, but both of them are going to want to be there in the end. So we'll see how things play out. But we're really fortunate to be in the situation we are.
And it's, I think, a situation philosophically for coaches about scheduling and not being in a position to ever fear playing the best teams, competing against them. If you want to be one of the best teams, play the best teams. You get an opportunity to play them night in and night out in the ECAC, as we've talked about, running that gauntlet. But to have the challenge outside, what a series to begin the season in late September, to be able to get out of the gate, number 4 in the national polls. Oh, by the way, you bring Ohio State in to Hamilton to the Class of '65 arena, and that series was just epic from all I gathered about the competitiveness of those 2 games with 2 of the elite teams in the country, 2 of the real brand name programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a real great weekend, I think, for hockey, for women's hockey. All in all, when you look back at it, I think, in a few years from now, we'll be able to, circle a few names that were on the ice that weekend, and they'll be doing some amazing things in our game, whether it's in pro or at the national level. A lot of great players on the ice, and the series, it certainly, it was what we expected it to be. It was a great series, back and forth, with 2 good teams going head to head, and why not start that way? I think, when we've played teams, when we played Ohio or teams like that in the past, we've learned so much about ourselves. And regardless of the results of the weekend, I think what it did is it helped us kind of prepare a roadmap for where we need to go and how we need to go about our business moving forward. And I think overall, if you were to ask if we would have taken the split, back in August or July, I think we would take it. We got out to a deficit there in night 2, getting down 2 goals, but it showed a lot of character coming back and taking that second game to overtime. And so there's lots to learn on all fronts from a great series like that. But I think most importantly, we've got to continue to look internally and learn from that and keep growing. But I think it's a great challenge anytime you can go against, some of the country's best teams to start the year.
No doubt. And some last minute heroics with the game winner on night 1, and then the late power play goal to tie it. I mean, that's those are those battle tested moments, Greg, that are going to, I think, bode well and pay some dividends for you when you come to March.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, those are the situations we want to be in, Bernie. As you know, when you're able to get through them together, those moments of adversity, I think, it instills this feeling of belief within your group. And, I think to be able to do it early on certainly feels like there's nothing that we can't accomplish together. And, just a great way to start the season all together. But couldn't be happier with how it all played out. Results aside, I think we learned a lot. And as you said, though, I think, those experiences will pay dividends down the road for us.
And followed up with, again, a Big Ten opponent with the sweep of Penn State last weekend. Another area of the game that sometimes comes a little bit slowly in terms of putting systems in at the beginning of the year and the amount of time that you have to spend on the special teams. Special teams are out of the gate very strong. With already 7 power play goals already. And it looks like you're perfect, 10 for 10 on the PK right now.
Yeah, it's been great. Again, we talk about luxuries with an older group, but one of them in the fact that we were able to return our top power play unit from a year ago, and so we were able to probably spend a little more time on that part of our game early on here, and pick up where we left off in a lot of ways. I think it's exciting when you can return everybody. We have a good solid foundation of what we want to be and where we want to take it, and I think there's still some wrinkles that we can add to our power play as the year goes on. And our other unit is there's a few new faces, so they're finding their way and getting some reps along the road here. But I think our power play so far this year has been an important part of some early success, and our PK. Coach Walkland does such a tremendous job running our penalty kill, and again, some new faces in that part of our game. But we're finding our way with every passing day a little bit more, and you just know as the season goes along and those games get closer, a power play or a penalty kill can be the difference. And so it's not something that we take lightly. And as the year goes on, we'll continue to dive deeper into it. So it's a luxury certainly to have all those pieces, and we've got such a strong foundation that hopefully we can continue to build upon as the year goes on.
Mention assistant coach, and also give you an opportunity, Greg, to talk about a new addition to your staff for this season.
Yeah, we're really thrilled. I mean, Stefan DeCoste and Chelsea Walkland have been a part of our program for a while, but as you mentioned, Bernie, Brienne Wilson-Bennett is our newest assistant, graduating class of 2018. She was a captain on the team that went to our first Final Four and national championship game. She actually played a big part in that semifinal win against Wisconsin, scoring a hat trick in that game, and just a real competitor, someone who has a knack for coaching and development of players. And we couldn't be more thrilled to add somebody that brings those things, but also bleeds maroon and cares deeply about Colgate and everything that our program is today. Her fingerprints are all over this program and our school, and what an asset for our young players to be able to look up to her, and for her to have the opportunity to lead now in a coaching role. It's a dream come true to bring her back.
And then next up will be a non-conference series with Mercyhurst. Your thoughts getting ready to play Mercyhurst here for a pair?
Yeah, I think, Mercyhurst's been a team on our schedule for a long time now. I think every year that I've been at Colgate, we've played them. So a familiar opponent, in some ways feels like a league opponent.
Yeah.
Because we see them every season, but just incredibly well coached every year, disciplined, hardworking. And we've played them early in the year, and they always give us a great series. It's not going to be easy against a team like Mercyhurst, but and then they've played some close games against other league opponents so far this year too. So it's an important non-conference series. As we try to explain to our players, like every game is meaningful when it comes to trying to position yourself at the end of the year in the tournament, and this is another one that will be meaningful. Mercyhurst will certainly have the number of other good teams throughout the year. They'll certainly be at the top of the CHA when all the chips fall. And so it's an important non-conference series that we're excited to play and have another opportunity to play at home on Colgate Day, for that matter, October 13th. Looking forward to that.
And a well-earned bye before entering into ECAC play for you, Greg.
Yeah, looking forward to that too. I mean, in some ways, it's hard to believe that we're nearing the middle of October. Been on the ice together since the end of August, so a weekend off will be great for everybody involved, both coaches and players, and we'll get a chance to recharge the batteries a little bit before heading straight into the ECAC gauntlet. So that'll be welcomed when that weekend arrives for sure.
Greg, thanks very much for joining us here this week, and all the best with you and the Raiders here as you get ready for the next step on the journey.
Outstanding, Bernie. Always a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
Greg Fargo, our guest here this week on Inside ECAC Hockey.